Have you long been waiting for an adventurous tryst with nature? Meet Daya and Ganesh, who will connect you with the natural world. Learn to appreciate its beauty, not abuse. That's the lesson they preach.
Raindrops on white blossoms, the symmetry of the leaves in thick forests, the scarred roots of the red mangrove tree, the musicality of bird songs. Aren't you just waiting to break free from the crowded urban streets to enjoy the beauty of nature and its elements at close quarters? Well, Dayalakshmi and Ganesh Ramachandran are here to help you connect with nature and preserve its spotless splendor too.
Basically, leave no trace of us being there in a pristine environment of the forest or a river or anywhere in the mountains. Most people go there and leave everything that they've taken along with them from here, right from the very obvious plastic bottles to many things. Other than that, bathing in the streams with using all our chemicals from here, the things which, these are the things which were, and making a campfire right in the middle of the forest, all these are hazards. We are already losing our forests, and every small bit of thing that we dump there or do things that makes our presence known so much, it only damages the environment there.
Their common love for nature, coupled with the drive to educate and sensitize adventure lovers, brought Daya and Ganesh together. And their dream business enterprise was born in 2007 with the FOSS Nature Club. And FOSS aptly stands for Fire, Water, Earth and Space.
When we are outdoors, you are face to face with nature's elements. I mean, whether it's a rock or a stream or a river or a mountain, they stare right at you. And when you are there, there's no other rules except for what you and what you want to do there. So when you go to a place like that, it's only you experience it in all its glory. And at the same time, the focus is on what you're doing there. So that makes, that's where the elements come in. Like if you, it could be a dewdrop, it could be the sound of a bird calling or a deep roar of an animal. I mean, that's what makes you, you experience the thing in full when you're outdoors. We just wanted to try and share this kind of experience with other people, and so, I mean, that's why FOSS was formed. I mean, it's exploring the elements, the elemental thing in yourself also. It's actually to experience it and experience it in your inner self and grow from it.
The club takes groups of nature lovers to high-altitude trekking camps, rock climbing, river rafting, cycling trips, parasailing and expeditions to the Himalayas.
There can be different expeditions like cycling expedition or a trekking expedition, but it has to be a multi-day thing where you go from point A to point B and the point B is your goal, which is not so much possible in the south, and so in south of India. So that is why we've said that expedition in Himalaya, wherein we select a peak, a certain peak that we have to summit, wherein we have to make it a multi-day thing where we have to carry all our stuff, our tents, food, equipment, finish the climb and come back.
Daya and Ganesh have been trained in mountaineering. That apart, Daya's passion lies in skiing and Ganesh loves birdwatching and photography. No wonder the FOSS Nature Club has also begun to include activities like wildlife sanctuary visits, astronomy camps, and workshops on photography.
Towering heights, dense jungles, colossal waves and serene islands. It's an eco-friendly adventure of a different nature with Daya and Ganesh. Let's come back to our city now. Chennai certainly plays host to several book launches. Last week it was Tishani Doshi releasing her book at the Connemara Hotel. And now it's Namita Devidayal launching her book Aftertaste at Landmark. Let's go get a taste of the evening and listen in on the discussion between the author and Ranveer Shah.
It was a rather small turnout at the Landmark bookstore on Nungambakkam High Road for Namita Devidayal's launch of her second novel, Aftertaste. But it turned out to be a nice, intimate audience for an interesting discussion between the author and cultural curator Ranveer Shah, and later between the author and the audience. Aftertaste is a soap opera-ish tale about politics in a Marwari mithai-making business family. We asked Namita about the theme of the book and how vastly different it is from her first and highly acclaimed Music Room, which dealt with classical music and her tender and beautiful relationship with her music teacher.
I just feel that one has to follow one's heart, and to be honest, I never really thought about why I wrote the first one or why I wrote this. There were two different stories that I wanted to tell, and I think it's a little unfair to kind of slot oneself or to have a reader even slot one, and I just wanted to really sort of move into a different space, but not consciously, and this was the story that came out the second time around.
One couldn't help but think that Aftertaste has autobiographical elements as well, since Namita hails from a business family herself.
This is not at all autobiographical, other than the fact that I come from the business community, the Banya community. So I actually have access to a lot of really unbelievable details and intrigues about that community, which is what I try to bring out in the book, starting with their obsession with money, their unabashed obsession with money, and weave a story around that. And you know, The Music Room is not a book you can replicate, clearly, because it's a memoir, and it's one of those sort of first loves kind of books. So this is really just a novel which is meant to be enjoyable and at the same time hopefully provide some insight into the nature of a dysfunctional family.
So tell me, how long did it take you to do this book?
Well, it's been floating in my subconscious for many years, but it took me about a year, the bulk of it, to write.
And then to edit?
Not very long. My editor is super fast and very impatient, and so it was a couple of weeks, I think, and it was all ready to roll.
And what about the first book, The Famous Music Room?
The Famous Music Room took a little longer because I had long gaps in between, because I actually didn't know where it was going. I wrote it because I was very bored. I was living in suburban America. I would say 2 years or so.
So could one say it was like the silences in the midst of a raga?
Yes, that would be appropriate.
I'm about halfway through, and it's a very lively and engaging book. What strikes you instantly is sort of, you can almost smell the ghee in the air as you're reading the book, because it's set around this sweet shop that's owned by the family, and you almost can taste the sweets as she's discussing them, and they're almost like a character in the book. And it's about family politics, and she really describes how in these Banya families, money is what it's all about. You know, it replaces emotion. It's the most valuable thing. And so it's fascinating delving into the family politics, but also biting into the sweets figuratively as you read. So it's been a fun read so far. I'll definitely finish the rest of it this evening.
The smell of ghee as you read it, coupled with the smell of money and politics. What do you think after taste as this weekend's read? Good idea. We value what you have to say at NDTV Hindu. So do write to us at feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. Till next week, take care.